My first guest is Jeff Tobey, and he is running for Peoria Unified School District candidate to get on the board. So, Jeff, if you want to just introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, Jeff Tobey. Like Mia said, I'm running for Peoria Unified School Board, and it's my first time running for anything. So thank you for having me on your brand new podcast.
Yeah. So, I
Thank
love
you.
that you're running for the board. I think that you will just be a huge
So
asset. I
much.
think that would be great. So, I do have some questions
Sure.
that I would like to ask you. So the first first question is, what is your stance on academics in PUSD?
So academics is actually one of the platforms that I'm focusing on. First and foremost, coming from a law enforcement background, my focus is safety. I view things through the lens of safety, but I also have a very strong emphasis on academics learning.
Yeah.
And I've sat down with our curriculum chair, the person, Dr. Hernandez, and she's wonderful, by the way. She has a plan to bring the district back into uh, not just resource-based learning, where you take the resource and you try to make the resources relevant, but actually state standards, right? So we're marrying all of our educational components back to state standards. And as a board member, my goal is to work with Dr. Hernandez to kind of elevate the academic levels, not just to state standards, a little bit higher. And we've seen our academics kind of slide since COVID.
Yeah.
I think everybody has kind of felt that.
Mm-hmm.
And as a dad, I've gone from experiencing my kids having very little homework to no homework, even in high school, it seems. And so, not that homework is the end all be all, but that repetition, that exposure, just making sure that I'm dialed in too as a parent to what my kids are learning so I can help them and understand their academic journey essentially.
Right.
So, academics wise, I have really a primary focus on reading comprehension, reading retention,
Yeah.
the ability to read at a young age. There is actually, I was reading this last week, something called the Matthew effect. I don't know if you've ever heard of the
No, I
Matthew
haven't heard of
effect.
that.
So, researching this more, I've learned more about the Matthew effect, where it talks about a child's ability to read at grade level by the third grade is a very telling indicator about their future academic success.
Mm-hmm.
So, and unfortunately, the statistics show that if our kids don't read at grade level by the third grade, they're 4 times as likely to drop out of school. And then of those kids that do drop out of school, 90% ish will remain on welfare.
Mm.
So reading is not just to me an academic thing, it's a socioeconomic component. And it's
Absolutely.
what's going to make our students better, and succeed in not just reading, but reading is the thing that I think raises all boats
Right.
of science, math, history.
Mm-hmm.
Reading is the one thing that we can focus on to elevate all those things. And I think that we can see our 37% proficiency rate in math go up
Yes.
and our 42% proficiency in ELA go up
Mm-hmm.
by focusing on this one measure. So there's many ways that we can do that, and I'd be happy to go into that, but I hope that answers your first question.
Yeah, no, I think that was great. And I definitely agree with you. Reading is the foundation because even in math, maybe people don't think reading would affect math, but you have to be able to read those math questions in order to answer them correctly. And reading comprehension, you're using math problems or word problems, which is mostly what you're going to use in everyday life. You're trying to figure out, how much are these water bottles per unit,
Right.
or compared to how much are these water bottles per unit, and which one's going to be cheaper, so that I can, give my family water bottles.
Right.
And so I think that reading comprehension and reading is definitely the foundation for that. So I would totally agree with you.
And it goes into play with all aspects of our lives, whether it's contracts,
Right.
they want to grow up and turn 18 and get their first credit card, their terms and conditions that
Mm-hmm.
everybody just accepts without reading and understanding. Reading is just so vital to our everyday lives. So that's why I choose to focus on that academic.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.